Hey, buenas tardes, Pastor Junior. So I'm taking my walk out here. And I'm thinking, okay, so what am I going to share? Well, lately, a lot of people have been going through a lot of stuff, man. You know, I mean, you might have went to court this morning. You might find yourself in the hospital. You might be struggling financially. I don't know what you're going through, but I pray that this word encourages you, porque it's a psalm of David, right? In Psalm 65 verse 2. Psalm 65, pues que es un psalm? Well, a psalm once again is a hymn, and a psalm is a hymn, a song, and it's also a, ¿cómo se dice? It's also a poem, and it could be also be a prayer, right? And a psalmist is one who writes psalms. A psalmist is one who writes psalms, right? So here you have the Psalm of David in Psalm 65, verse 2. And it says, and then it says like this, it says, "Oh you," it says, "Oh you who hear prayer, to you all flesh come." Right? Some of the translations says, and I've spoken this before, I think, and it says, some translation says all flesh, some translation says all people, right? And some other translation says, no me acuerdo cuál otro dice, but the thing is that all people come when they're in great need, you know. But there's also a statement que dice, "A teardrop on earth summons the God of heaven." Right? I'm not sure who quoted that. I would have to, look it up. Pero a teardrop on earth summons the God of heaven. And like I said, you might have went to court this morning, or who knows, you might be in trial right now, or going through trial. I don't know. Pero a teardrop on earth summons the God of heaven. And that statement reminded me of the Psalm right here in Psalm 65 verse 2, the Psalm of David, que dice, "Oh you who hear prayer, to you all flesh, to you all people come," or to you all men come también. Pero the thing is that they come in great time of need. I don't know, you might be in a time of need right now. It says, Psalm 65 verse 2, "Oh you who hear prayer." What does that mean? That means that we serve a God praying, a God hearing prayer. Right? It says, "To you all flesh come, to you all people come." And why? Because we serve a listening God. We serve a listening God, a hearer of prayer. A hearer of prayer. Think about that. We serve a God, a hearer of prayer. Como dice David aquí, he says, "Oh, you who hear prayer." Right? A hearer of prayer. Right? Some translated again, once again, some people translate it as all men, all flesh, all people. So Yahweh Jesus hears all flesh, and that's people of every nation, rank, and condition, and condition are encouraged to approach him, to approach his throne. Right? Cuando dice aquí, says Yahweh Jesus hears all flesh, and that's people of every nation, rank, and condition. And condition are encouraged what? To approach him, to approach his throne. And it reminded me of Hebrews. Right? The writer of Hebrews, que dice? In Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16, he says, "Let us come boldly." He says, "Let us come boldly before the throne of grace, that we might receive what? That we might receive mercy. That we might receive mercy in a time of need." You might be in that time of need. I want to encourage you with Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16 also, that says, "Let us come boldly before the throne of grace, that we might receive mercy in a time of need." right? They will receive mercy in the time of need. What is mercy? Well, mercy is forgiving someone that doesn't deserve it. Right? That's why it says, let us come boldly before the throne of grace, that we might receive what? That we might receive mercy. Mercy is forgiving someone that doesn't deserve it. Right? So to come boldly means to come with confidence. To come boldly before the throne of grace is to come with confidence. To come with confidence without what? Without fear. To come with confidence without fear or rejection. So if you come boldly, you're coming with confidence, right? Without fear of rejection. Without fear of rejection. No, God's not going to reject you, man. You know, that's why Hebrews 4:16 says, let us come boldly before the throne of grace. Let us come, como se dice, with confidence, knowing that you're not going to be rejected. And that's what the psalmist here, David, is talking about. In Psalm 65, verse 2, he says, oh, you who hear prayer. You know, I want to encourage you. You know, I don't know what situation you are, you know, but I want to encourage you to pray. Because we serve a prayer-hearing God. We serve a prayer-hearing God, right? And one thing to know is that He's never too busy, and attends to the cry of His people, right? The Lord is never too busy, and He attends to the cry of His people. That's why el statement que dice, a teardrop on earth summons the God of heaven, right? So be encouraged. For He is a what? He is a prayer-hearing God. Right? The very reason people come to Him in time of great need. The very reason people come to Him in the time of great need. So I just want to encourage you guys with that word. All right? Be encouraged. Get into your prayer. Seek Him. He hears. All right? God bless you guys. Just a word of exhortation.